A massive sea change within both Buckingham Palace and Westminster about the future of Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew's royal shield just cracked wide open, not in a headline, not in a tabloid, but in the hands of the UK police. According to explosive reports, shocking new evidence has been quietly handed to investigators, the kind of evidence that can't be spun, silenced, or hidden behind Buckingham Palace walls. And if what's inside that file holds up, a prince could be walking straight into a criminal investigation. For decades, Andrew's name has been wrapped in royal protection. But this isn't a press scandal. This is a potential legal bomb, and it's ticking fast. Westminster is already circling. MPs are demanding answers, extradition whispers are spilling out of backrooms, and behind the scenes, William's team is moving with the precision of a man who knows this scandal isn't just about Andrew. It's about the survival of the monarchy itself.
Both by senior courtiers, the country's top politicians, and his own son. As many royal insiders say, this also can't just be.
There's so much to unpack, from the evidence dropped to Westminster's fury, to Andrew's rumored escape plan and William's cold calculation. But what really makes this moment different is simple. For the first time in royal history, the crown may not protect its own. If you want to follow this story to the very end, hit subscribe, drop a like, and stay locked in. Because this isn't just another royal scandal. This could be the moment the House of Windsor finally turns on itself. It started quietly, no press conference, no official statement, just one anonymous tip-off, followed by a package sliding into the hands of UK investigators. Inside, according to insiders, was evidence linking Prince Andrew to financial misconduct and previously unseen communications tied to his years as a trade envoy and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein's inner circle. But here's what makes this moment nuclear.
About Andrew, there has to be a reshaping of the British royal family, which also includes stripping princely titles.
The evidence didn't go through palace channels. It went straight to the National Crime Agency. For years, Buckingham Palace has been the filter. Nothing touches Andrew without the palace tightening its grip. But this was a bypass. And a bypass means the palace is no longer controlling the narrative. The investigators are. Sources close to law enforcement say this isn't about tabloid scandal anymore. It's about whether Andrew crossed legal lines while holding royal privilege. And the timing is brutal. With King Charles' health under a cloud and William preparing for the future, this investigation threatens to explode right in the middle of a fragile monarchy. Parliament has been briefed. Legal observers are circling. And Andrew, he's gone silent.
Now, that has been a prospect. That has been a worse nightmare for King Charles and Prince William for the last decade.
A former royal aide reportedly described the mood in the palace with just 3 words. This feels different. Because this time, it isn't just whispers in the press. This is a legal fuse, and someone just lit the match. And as the NCA sharpens its focus, another front of this storm is gathering momentum in Westminster. The moment that evidence reached investigators, Westminster smelled blood. Within 48 hours, whispers in Parliament turned into something far louder. Calls for an official inquiry. Senior MPs, both opposition and government, reportedly want to know exactly how deep Andrew's ties run and how long the palace has been holding back. This isn't just a legal storm now. It's a political earthquake.
The deep state and the establishment have done their best to avoid it from happening. Why do you now think, Andrew, that everything has changed?
Polls show over 80% of Britons believe Andrew should be stripped of what remains of his titles and protection. That kind of number doesn't sit quietly in a back room. It lands on parliamentary floors, it rattles ministers, and it forces even royal loyalists to admit the obvious: this isn't going away. One Westminster insider reportedly summed it up with chilling clarity: Andrew is no longer a royal problem, he's a state problem. Behind the scenes, MPs are preparing to drag the palace into public accountability in a way Britain hasn't seen in modern history. Briefings are being planned. Questions are being drafted for Prime Minister's questions. The House of Windsor, usually untouchable, is about to feel the weight of Westminster.
Didn't go far enough. It was just a piece of window dressing. I mean, it should have come from the king. Andrew shouldn't have been allowed to get away with the sort of some of the claims he made.
And here's where it gets worse for Andrew. Political pressure doesn't just demand answers, it demands consequences. That's why the stripping of titles is no longer being framed as if but when. But while Westminster sharpens its blade, someone else is already moving even faster. Someone who isn't thinking about speeches or votes, but about control. That someone is William. While Westminster fumes and MPs sharpen their questions, William isn't wasting breath. He's sharpening the blade. Sources close to Kensington say William has already mapped out a clean house strategy, one designed not for press optics but for power consolidation. This is not a prince reacting to a scandal. This is a future king building the foundation of his reign. Unlike Charles, William doesn't have decades of personal entanglements holding him back. He sees Andrew as more than an embarrassment. He sees him as a political liability, a crack in the crown's armor, and William doesn't patch cracks, he removes them. Behind closed doors, there are whispers of a surgical sequence. 1. Let the legal and parliamentary storms build. 2. Step in only when the public is fully aligned. 3. Strip Andrew's status, distance the crown, and move on without looking back. It's a move designed to cleanse the institution and make William's eventual reign look strong, modern, and ruthless. And what makes this truly cold, this isn't just about Andrew. Meghan and Harry's titles reportedly sit in the same long game. One palace insider put it bluntly: William isn't waiting for the throne, he's already acting like a king. And that's why Andrew is more exposed than ever. The public wants accountability, Parliament wants blood, and the man who'll give them both is already standing in the shadows, calm, steady, ready. But inside the York family, not everyone is willing to sync with Andrew, and that is where the betrayal begins.
And public opinion is way ahead of the palace and indeed the government, rather like it was when Diana died and the palace had to slightly swerve and respond to it.
If Andrew thought his family would rally around him like they always have, he's about to learn just how cold royal blood can be. The York household has quietly started to fracture from within. For years, Sarah Ferguson was his soft shield, publicly defending him, privately smoothing over the rough edges. But now, even she's gone quiet. No statements, no subtle PR push, just silence. And silence in that world isn't loyalty, it's survival. Beatrice and Eugenie, once the closest constants in Andrew's orbit, are reportedly distancing themselves fast.
But you're absolutely right. It's no longer the problem of Andrew. It's the wider problem of the monarchy.
According to Palace Whispers, they've been advised to protect their own futures, which means stepping back from their father's sinking ship. One source described recent family dynamics as tense, very tense. Everyone's protecting themselves now. And then there's the Royal Lodge standoff, Andrew's desperate grip on the luxury estate as pressure mounts for him to leave. Behind palace walls, what used to be private frustration is turning into strategic isolation. The royals aren't going to publicly drag him out, but they're making sure no one's standing next to him when he falls. This isn't the warm, sentimental image the monarchy projects to the world. This is survival politics. And for Andrew, the betrayal cuts deeper because it's coming from his own blood.
They weren't taking them seriously. Indeed, she was giving him honors each time he was quoted in some scandal. There were lots of complaints about his time as a trade envoy.
He's losing his allies one by one. And with no shield left at home, he's reportedly looking elsewhere for protection. And that's where the whispers of extradition fears and escape plans begin. When the walls start closing in, royals don't wait around to hear the verdict. They run. According to explosive whispers from legal circles, Prince Andrew's team has already explored potential safe zones, countries without extradition treaties that would shield him if the investigation moves faster than expected. And this isn't just gossip, it's strategy. Sources suggest that names like the UAE and Bahrain have been floated, places with wealth, privacy, and just enough distance to make a prince vanish from the public eye.
Actually say that there must be legislation to rid him of these titles. I mean, it was a farce. Nothing really changed for him on Friday night.
Insiders even drew chilling parallels to Juan Carlos of Spain, the ex-king who quietly slipped into Abu Dhabi when scandal cornered him. If Andrew flees, it won't look like a prince seeking refuge. It will look like a criminal running from accountability. And in the current climate, that image would set the monarchy on fire. Former palace staff say the panic isn't about losing Andrew, it's about the optics. For decades, the Windsors have bent reality to protect their own. But a royal on the run, that's a crack the crown can't plaster over. And as the extradition whispers grow louder, Parliament is reportedly preparing for the nuclear option, stripping Andrew of his last royal privileges, cutting every thread of protection that keeps him tethered to the institution. The crown is cornered, Andrew is cornered, and the clock is ticking. But the real blow isn't running through courtrooms or airports, it's being sharpened inside Parliament. Every royal scandal reaches a breaking point. For Andrew, this is it.
And to give, as I say, evidence. He was staying in these houses on a regular basis. I have to say Sarah Ferguson was too, and she should be a witness. And yet they haven't volunteered.
Behind the scenes, parliamentary aides are reportedly preparing to move faster than Buckingham Palace ever expected. A draft proposal is said to be circulating, one that would legally strip Andrew of his remaining privileges, removing what little protection he still clings to. This isn't palace gossip anymore, this is policy. Under current constitutional powers, Parliament can push through a targeted bill, the same legal mechanism that once unraveled titles in Denmark and restructured royal families in Europe. Andrew wouldn't just lose his honorary military roles, he'd lose everything that makes him Prince Andrew in the eyes of the state. And here's the part that's setting the palace on edge. Once Andrew's titles fall, the legal pathway to strip Harry and Meghan's becomes wide open. The precedent would be set, the backlash minimized, a clean domino line ready to tip. One political observer put it bluntly, once Parliament acts, the palace won't be in charge anymore. The crown will be forced to follow. It's the nightmare the royal family's PR machine was built to avoid, losing control of the narrative to Parliament. But this time, they're not holding the pen. And as Andrew's power is peeled away, another storm is already blowing in from across the Atlantic. Because the crown isn't the only one watching him now. America is too. If Westminster is the hammer, America is the storm behind it. While the UK prepares to strip Andrew of his royal shell, US legal pressure is quietly building. Senate committees, investigative journalists, and legal observers are circling the Epstein case again, and they're not looking at Epstein anymore. They're looking at everyone who was in the room.
Yes.
Do you know who she's referring to?
Yes, I do. And that name has certainly been circulating on social media.
Is it a British Prime Minister?
No.
And Andrew's name? It's not fading. It's resurfacing. Whispers from across the Atlantic suggest that new witness statements and financial records have surfaced in U.S. legal filings. This isn't a PR nightmare. It's evidence. And if U.S. authorities push forward, Andrew's royal title won't mean a thing. Britain may strip him of honors, but America could put him on trial. Legal analysts are already speculating about possible cooperation between agencies. That's where things get dangerous. Because once the UK steps back, there's no more palace shield to hide behind. They can't protect him from Washington, one source said flatly, not this time. The timing couldn't be worse for the monarchy. King Charles's health is fragile. William is quietly preparing to take control, and the entire royal structure is shaking under the weight of Andrew's shadow. Across the ocean, the Epstein story isn't viewed as an embarrassing royal scandal. It's a criminal stain, and the world's most powerful legal machine is staring straight at it. Andrew can run from public opinion. He can't run from subpoenas. And that's why this isn't just a scandal anymore. It's a countdown. The next move belongs to William. When the monarchy is cornered, it doesn't argue, it acts. And in this case, all eyes are on one man, Prince William.
I do hope the Senate Oversight Committee gets their final member ratified. Of course, there's been a huge attempt by Trump and his administration to shut this story down.
Behind the polished photos and carefully worded press releases, insiders say William has already accepted one brutal reality: saving Andrew means bleeding the monarchy, and he's not willing to do that. For months, Kensington Palace has been running quiet crisis drills, rehearsing the sequence of moves that would reshape the royal family in one decisive stroke. Step 1, strip Andrew's remaining honors and privileges. Step 2, tighten the walls around the York family. Step 3, set a precedent that makes Meghan and Harry's titles legally vulnerable. No speeches, no tears, just a royal amputation. Fast, clean, and permanent. William's allies call it the coronation without a crown, because in their eyes, this isn't about Andrew, this is about who leads the monarchy into the next era. Charles may still sit on the throne, but William is already wielding the knife. A former palace aide reportedly said it best: William isn't reacting to this scandal, he's using it. Andrew's fall isn't a side story. It's a power transfer in real time. One man's scandal is another man's throne. And once William makes that final move, there won't be any turning back. But this story doesn't end in Parliament, or in Washington, or in royal estates. It ends in a single, chilling truth. For the first time in royal history, the crown might not protect its own. There are moments in royal history that don't arrive with a parade. They arrive with silence. For decades, the crown has bent over backward to protect its own, shielding scandal, covering fractures, and smoothing over disgrace with diamonds and protocol. But this time, the crown itself may be holding the sword. The evidence is stacking up. Westminster is circling like sharks. America is watching. And inside Buckingham Palace, William stands at the edge of a choice no heir has ever faced so publicly: protect a prince or protect the monarchy. Andrew was supposed to be untouchable, a royal who'd weather anything. But history has a way of snapping even the thickest royal shields. One scandal at the wrong time, and a family member becomes the sacrifice. This isn't the soft royal crisis management of the past. This is a cold power transfer. Andrew's name may be on the scandal, but William's fingerprints will be on the turning point. This isn't just the end of Andrew's story, one insider whispered. It's the beginning of William's. The monarchy isn't falling, it's shedding skin. And for the first time, the shield that's protected them for centuries is cracking from the inside. This is Hollywood Daily Reports. If you want to stay locked into this royal storm, hit subscribe, drop a like, and keep your eyes open. Because the next move the crown makes could change everything.